it's working. Freaking joy of joys. 'Tis I, Captain Steve, joined by Kurt and Beeble.
Hello.
So, does any of you guys want to introduce what this is all about?
Did you not post something about this already?
I did, yeah. But anyway, we're doing an ARG deep dive. So everything that's in the game files, everything that we've found in game, things that Beeble's got on his Discord, because he's got an actual area for all this sort of shenanigans over on his sort of area. Anyway, so what have we got when it comes to the ARG type stuff then, lads? Do you want to give an overview of what the previous ARG was? Beeble, you've done an awesome video on the previous ARG in Waken Titan.
Actually, I was not part at all of the ARG before Awakened Titan at all. This is new to me, so if I'm kind of like, what am I expecting? Is this all we're gonna get? Is this the the hidden codes, or can we expect part 3 to be a little bit more like sending cassette tapes around again, or what are we gonna what is the?
Well, it would be nice if they do some of that real life stuff. I actually hit up Tim Woolley, and also sometimes there's another person at Hello Games that sometimes responds. And I said, hey, look, maybe you should pop into the meetup this year, or if you're putting in some prizes or something, sneak in a couple of ARG things, a few clues. Yeah, that'd be nice. I've also sent them my home address. So if you want to send me some tapes or anything like that, like last time, then please do. That'd be freaking great.
Yeah, true. I'm just wondering, because the last time they hired a company for that. No, Alice and Smith it was, I think.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if they did this again this time.
No. But then I don't know how big this update's going to be off the back of this 4-part arc. Last time they done an ARG, we got Next, we got Beyond, which were really big updates. So now that they're doing this ARG stuff, should we be raising our expectations perhaps to that sort of level? What do you think about that, say, people?
I have put some expectations in this now. This is not just an update. They are definitely building up to something. Mm-hmm. It's not like it's not like one update that's going to drop now. They said this is a 4-part story arc. There's going to be ARG clues. They are linking a lot of the lore together as well now with this Insider and the code. So they are definitely building up to the Void Mother. They're building up to this new race or this old race that is coming back. I don't know. Mm. So it feels like they're building up to either. And we were talking about that. I feel they're either building up to a new update, or they're building up to releasing a spin-off of No Man's Sky and saying, this is like the Void Mother simulation now that you're going to be playing. I don't know.
Oh, shite. I'm normally the one that lives up in the clouds. You're emulating the sort of stuff that I'm thinking. This is good. Yeah, this is cool.
Well, this is only 2 ways you can go. Otherwise, they're going to disappoint us again.
Yeah, I suppose. Kurt, are you on the same page?
Yeah, I'm excited to see what they do next, because this part 2, they figured out a lot of different ways to sneak in these clues. I don't think we've ever had the solar system names be clues for anything, or using the hexadecimal code to hide certain messages. And it was also hidden from the modders a lot, because these strings that were put into hexadecimal were not within the usual files where it's easy to find. They weren't translated into multiple languages. They were only in English. They were hidden within, if I remember correctly, they're hidden inside the exe, which is something that we don't normally dig through. We kind of leave that be. Mm-hmm. So they're getting very clever. I mean, they also put the words in the audio files. It's very exciting stuff. I don't know how they can top it, or how many other ways they can hide messages, but it was very, very cool of them.
I've been so looking through all these things.
It's also risky. It can make you go mad, because you start seeing things that don't actually exist.
True.
Yeah.
When I got the 16 words, I was like, 16 words? All right, what is this? Is this a sentence? Can I start using this to make a portal glyph? The 16 Korvax words? Nah, they were 35 words I got, so.
Wow. Cool.
Well, that one was lucky that we had that bomber boy actually just go look at how the game rewards those items.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, that would have been a really deep rabbit hole.
That would have been a great way to. Well, maybe they can still do it next time, but I mean, it would be a great way to put a hidden message. Give us 16 words. We know the 16 words are glyphs. Bam! The sentence is the glyph. We know the portal glyph, and yeah. John, you didn't think that far, didn't you?
This is weird. You're already on the. You think it's going to actually happen.
Captain Steve felt that he had to defend his reasoning now, and now he's stuck.
Yeah, I thought this would be more of a little bit more of a to and fro and a bit more of an exchange, debate of ideas. But you're on the same. You actually think the void might come into iteration?
I'm not sure if it's the thing is. I've never seen No Man's Sky as a game that actually brings us the actual story. They drop it out to us in story, in text. No Man's Sky is very lore-based, and Ariadne did this, and then you go there, but Ariadne is not there. It's just another piece of text. So I'm wondering how much that update will be actual content, visiting an actual planet, for example. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay, all right, I get you.
I saw your video about, for example, how is the Void Mother going to look? Is it going to be an atlas that is just purple? It could be very well. And that is probably going to be pretty disappointing if that is the case.
Yeah. Or it could be a Cybertron-like planet, and maybe one system that we can visit, with maybe a couple of scripted planets that might have the majestic Diplo.
Yeah, or they could just add a different galaxy, just like 257 that we can. I mean, where you can put some, scripted planets in there.
Or squash all the galaxies and bring them down to like a reasonable number.
I've always said 16 would have been more than enough galaxies.
Well, I have got a bit of a theory that might prove that it could be the galaxy's idea. Like lots of different systems. There was a separate folder in the space stations. You had space stations A and space stations B. Mm-hmm. Well, it's like a flip side, isn't it? You've got a side A, side B to a cassette tape. I'm wondering whether there might be the side B, like a parallel dimension for each system, where you get to see a different space station. So is there
maybe
evidence?
You travel through the space station to go to the other space station on the other side of the planet.
Using the station override. Yeah. Yeah, because funny enough, the systems that didn't have their stations changed were the abandoned stations, so there is no station core. So I don't know whether that's a clue. I don't want to sort of overhype it and say that's definitely what's happening, because they removed them from the game files.
But I think that happened with the freighter rooms as well, before they added the new ones.
Oh yes, it did, didn't it?
Yeah, that's true.
But we never did get that lift that you managed to do the video on, Beeble. That never actually came in. So.
I think this was a test. Was a test, and they decided teleporter is a better option. Because you could see me sliding through. That was terrible for a collision, I think.
Yeah, I think so, yeah. It was wafer thin as well. It didn't look realistic, did it? Yeah.
I think it was like a concept that they were trying, and they, accidentally dropped them in the game. I'm telling you, they just dropping them, they see how we react and say, you know what, let's change it. That was not good.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think they do it for hype. I really honestly do. I mean, it's like those sound files that they put in. I know you could hear them when we visited the Atlas inside the game, but I don't think anybody would notice them unless there was that deep dive in the game.
Maybe, but at the end, when you're talking to the Atlas, it says to you, maybe you cannot hear what it says. Maybe you have to listen beyond.
Yes, the truth.
And it was like, that was a trick, that was a tip van. Look further. You have to look further in the... It was about the sounds. It was definitely directed to that.
Turn your volume up. Yeah. Yeah, that sort of thing. Yeah, because it doesn't talk in words. It's a sound that fills the universe, is what it said. Something like that, yeah.
No, I was just going to say, I wonder how many people actually got that hint and then went and looked at the sound files, because on the data mining side, people just noticed, there's new audio clips and they sound weird. Let's post to Twitter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then somebody realized, hey, in Walking Titan, we also had that with the text and the... You had the same, no? In Walking Titan, you had also the text hidden inside the audio file, no?
Okay. In Atlas Rises, the Waking Titan, in Waking Titan ARG, there were a couple of sound files, like the cassette tapes that they physically sent to Cobra and stuff like that. On one side, it had 60 Days of Static, the actual music from No Man's Sky, and on the opposite side, it had weird wave patterns, like static and things. And then when you put that through the same encoder, you had to do it for a cassette tape, it gave you a hidden message inside the tape back then as well. So, yeah, they've done all this before, like Beeble was saying, through that secondary company. That was really cool. But I was still watching L Plays and Cobra going at it, and to be honest, a lot of it went over my head. I was like, what the how are they working all this stuff out? These people are wizards. So,
but I think it was an amazing thing to see. I mean, I've been watching a lot of videos and checking messages, and there's some websites that are still holding the old files. So, my God, that was such a great thing to experience, And I think for the community, it was amazing as well to be like together and work on something. I think that really built that core group as well that we have now still in No Man's Sky.
I watched all of Cole Culver's playlist on the ARG. He's got a really good playlist on the ARG. If you're wondering what we're all on about, check out Cole Culver and all of his coverage of the ARG. Also, Cobra's still got a lot of stuff on the Dreamers, which Cole Culver didn't cover. So when you get to the end of his playlist, then look at Cobra and the Dreamers. And he'd done a load live, Cobra, which was really great. And he'd done it in this podcast format like we're doing now. And all people was chiming in with their thoughts. A little bit like what we're doing now with this, which is really cool. So part one of this arc, I mean, we didn't really even know that an ARG was happening in part one. And there was
but you could smell it already.
Yeah, with the subtle hints inside the game. What was there? I See Her inside of the station cores. And then there was Void Mother, if you went to all the autophages at camps, and it spelled that out. So I See Her and Void Mother. I tell you what, when I saw Void Mother appear, I was like, they've got to be taking the piss. The amount of time I've been banging on about this bloody Void, and then they put in Void Mother. It's not just a place, it's now an entity. Like, we're getting a boss, but I don't think it's a boss.
It was really surprising for me then to go back into the lore and discover that the Void Mother was already been used in the archives, the lore.
Yeah.
Korvax lore already was talking about Void Mother. Sentinel Pillars talked about Void Mother. I was like, hey, why did I not see this? Or how did I not catch this?
Yeah. I've seen Void mentioned before, but the fact that it said Void Mother, I kind of glossed over that, because even when we go to the Atlas stations, when you speak to the Atlas and you know all the Atlas words, it never says I. It never refers to itself as singular. It always says we and us. So it almost feels like there's convergence going on there for the Atlas. And when it said like the Void Mother, and the Void Mother is spreading and she's got all these eyes, or what, I just glossed over that and just figured, it's another god type looking entity or something, a bit like the Atlas. I mean, it could still be like an Atlas but purple. It could be an entity and a destination that we can go in. We can go inside the Atlas. So, it could happen. Who knows? But then Arc 2, we got Void Prime, which was one of the main ones, I think, because Korvax Prime has been destroyed, and I think maybe Void Prime is now its new sort of name. I don't know.
The plan,
she sees through their eyes, but again, in the Atlas lore, it says the Atlas sees through our eyes, like the Traveller's eyes. It says, I can't go where you go, you are my eyes, in a roundabout way. So, is it any more sinister than the Atlas? Probably not.
I saw that you were doing now the 3 lores. No, you did Korvax, Gek, and Viking. Are you planning on going further?
I want to do the underwater abandoned bases, because I haven't done those before. And Elite Gamers hit me up with some snippets that he found in there, which were quite tantalising.
Very interesting. And you will say, holy, this fits so perfectly with that. Yeah, because they are dreaming, and I want to talk. I want to keep it for you so you can figure it out. I don't know. It depends on how you want to talk about it.
I've done the Abyss lore, like with where you get the bathysphere helmet. So all that I understand, but what he sent me was a clip saying about when the Sentinels got turned from metal to flesh, or something, or flesh to metal, or something like that.
Yeah.
So I just want to read that.
So the one I used in my video, I talked about how they were scanning the water. The abyss, the water for Abyss.
Oh yeah.
And then they figured out that the Abyss was actually the same power as Atlas. It had the same signature. So that's one. That's one of them that you will find in the. Okay, but the Abyss lore, when you play the Abyss, which is actually a very old update, one of these scientists, they dream about purple and red.
Purple and red.
They drive a purple and red. They see triangles. They see teeth. They see red crystals. There's a lot of...
Okay.
What the... This is an old lore, and it's just already talking... So I feel like they had already in mind what the story would be in the future, or at least in big strokes, I don't know.
Cool. What else have we got? So, was there anything else in ARC 2? So I said Korvax Prime, she sees through their eyes. Was there anything else that was really, really juicy?
Really juicy. I think most of
lifeboat?
The lifeboats, everything, but I think everything is just linking all to lore. There's nothing, I mean, you can speculate of what is coming, but there's nothing really like telling this is coming. You know what I mean? It's more, it's like completing the lore. I feel like Ariadne is going to be pulled in pretty soon in the next one, maybe, or I don't know.
Yeah.
This doesn't feel like the ARG I've seen before, you know?
Yeah. Okay.
Where the ARG was already building up to, oh, this is like, there's something coming. For the moment, I'm still pretty chill off. It promises something, but...
Yeah, how hyped can we get? Where should our hype levels be? Yeah, it's quite hard to judge that one.
I'm on level 4 or something now, so...
How many levels are there in your hype level, Beagle?
But 10. I am always going to 10, so...
Okay, cool. So you're at level 4. I think I'm probably level 6, because I'm just a happy chap. Yeah. But, yeah, we'll see what happens in the next arc, or whatever. But, yeah, with the lifeboats, where you picked up on the things that we saw in space during this expedition, you think they're like the lifeboats because they give you all the hex code, which makes a lot of sense. Because I thought that lifeboats were the crashed things on the planet's surfaces at the camps, you know, like the station cores. But then when you look closer at those ones in space, they've got the same, like, duct pipe. They're like the connectors. And I'm wondering whether they're corrupted versions of station cores floating about in space. Slightly larger, but...
When you said that, I was like, hey, yeah, that's true. But I also noticed that they have the same texture as the disappeared space station B.
I was just about to say that. I can't believe we're so on the same page. Yeah, you know, you base a lot of your speculation in logic and a little bit of gut feeling. I go gut feeling and craziness. And it's. I was going to wear my tinfoil hat just in case today. I don't think I need it. Beeble has sanity checked me. This is good. Yeah, cool.
The other thing I was thinking when I was looking at these lifeboats is that, you know, the crystals that are spreading out?
Yeah.
I think they are actually the ones that are spreading out the corruption. Because the crystals are kind of like pushed out. You can like see them pushed out of their... you know, you have like these two crystals and you see the animation crystals coming out. Either it's that or they are poisoning the water with their nanites.
Okay. Yeah, that makes a bit of sense, I must admit.
They were talking about drink the foam, you know. Half of the universe is now polluted with the nanites in the water.
And that's why we've got abyssal horrors and Hadal cores. Yeah, that does all make sense. I mean, I was thinking the realm of glass could be like because they describe the realm of glass as being something that's full of like crystal sharp glass and when you cut yourself you don't even know and you just bleed out. It sounds freaking horrific, but it also sounds beautiful at the same place. And some of this purple crystal that we're seeing on planets is exactly that, isn't it? And you've got all sentinels all stuck in them and phages stuck in them. Yeah. And now we're seeing these lifeboats with crystals jarring out of them. So I kind of think that the realm of glass is a place that you can go to, and perhaps that's where Artemis went and when we were trying to save him, because he said he was being chased by the Emiracies of Glass or something in there. And they've been mentioned as well, whoever these Emiracies of Glass are. I'm wondering whether that might be Null, Apollo, Astera, Hildebrand, Narcissus, all the people that have been mentioned, all these first travellers. But I'm wondering whether the realm of glass might be like a firewall, and the sentinels dip into it. They're like the security checksum of the simulation, going in and out, and that's why they keep phasing in and out of the realm of glass. And then behind that is some sort of archive, some fragmented space, the void. And it's slowly coming through the firewall because the sentinels are using it, and now the sentinels are actually infected. And that's why we see worm viruses, infected planets. And I'm wondering whether it's like a simulated virus inside of our universe, and we're going to be some sort of... I always think we were a checksum because we just go around renaming and scanning shite, don't we? But I'm wondering whether we're going to become some sort of antivirus alongside the sentinels at some point.
No, I feel we're going to have to follow the story and just... we're going to be absorbed in one traveler.
there's a lot of hint of that though in the Traveller's lore. I mean, we laugh, but yeah,
if you look at the central pillar, their plan is to put all the Travelers back together and create a creator.
Oh, bollocks. There we go.
You didn't watch my video?
Yeah, I did, but I didn't actually cotton on to that's what you actually alluded to. In that video. I've watched your video twice now, Beeble, and I didn't catch that. Yeah.
She said, so the Void Mother, or Corvax Prime, or whoever she is, she said, we're gonna put all the Travelers together, the first, the last, and we're gonna create the creator.
Ah, that makes sense.
Yeah. They also blame Travelers for the reason why there is so much trouble and stuff. The Central Pillar lore is really in depth. There's a lot of information in there.
I didn't do a Traveller's lore back to back. I went around looking for the best multi-tool and at the same time just quickly read the actual lore, but I didn't digest it. I need to do a proper deep dive into that Sentinel lore.
It's really, really interesting that if you start combining it as well then with the Corvax lore, the Vy'keen lore and the Gek lore are interesting, but they never really... They are like a little bit of a side story, filling in the gaps of the history, but I always felt like Gek and Vy'keen lore is not that interesting compared with Corvax and then everything linked to it.
Okay, fair enough. I'll revisit the Sentinel Pillars then and actually deep dive into the lore. I might do that as another video over this weekend.
Yeah, it's really, really interesting, the Sentinel lore.
Cool.
With that lore, you're saying that the first and the last Travelers will merge together, but aren't we all the last Travelers, but we're able to see each other because the boundaries between universes are fading?
Yeah.
The thing is, we are all calling ourselves the last Traveler, but this is just like in Destiny. If you play Destiny, you are the chosen one, but everybody is the chosen one there. But your perspective is you are the chosen one, and all the rest are other Travelers. I think the same for No Man's Sky is we are all Travelers, and you, as your own player, you are the last Traveler. And for Captain Steve, when he plays, he's the last Traveler, you know?
Yeah.
So I think we're all like iterations, and all the Travelers will be merged into that one.
I think I know where Kurt's coming from though. There is an entry in the lore that talks about like the 19th minute, the 15th minute, and then when it gets to the fifth minute, it says all the Travelers will be in the same universe and they'll be able to see each other. There will no longer be orbs of light.
No.
So, yeah.
But that's like you see the iteration Eos and iteration Ariadne. They're also Travelers.
Yeah.
So like if we play together, you are, for example, Ariadne style. You're not the last Traveler from my perspective as a player.
Yeah. You see, I saw those as being anomalies because they haven't got Talamon on their shoulders like the little AI. But as soon as you put a cape on, you lose yours as well. So, freaking knows.
But also, Artemis didn't have Telamon anymore because he took him off. So maybe everybody pulled him off. If you read the Central Pillar, you will see that there's like a whole bunch of Telamons that actually lure the Traveler towards the Void, while other Telamons refuse to do that. So there's like also different iterations of Telamon.
True.
Being seduced by the Void Mother. It's such an interesting lore. I don't want to spoil too much if you want to go over it, but it's really interesting lore.
Well, in the summer lore, there was a bit of that going on, where Talamon would start whispering and telling you to do the bidding of the voice it was hearing from the voices of the water and from the occultists. And it's like, who are these cultists and things? It's, hopefully all this lore is going to be joined up, all the dots are going to make sense. But yeah, I'll definitely jump in and look at that Sentinel lore. Totally.
We'll also see what they do with the update. If this is the last update, that might completely change.
Anyway,
we've got at least 2 more updates, right? Because we've got 2 more arcs.
Yeah, no, but I mean, I always had the feeling 2023 was the last year that would lead into their announcement of their new IP. And this feels like something that is going to like a climax of the No Man's Sky.
Yeah. Somebody in the chat has said, look, everybody's on the same page. I bet everybody's wrong. That's so true. When we think we've got it nailed, I mean, you have seen this sort of like marriage of ideas. It's like Waypoint, you know, that was version 4.0. Everybody, I think, expected it to be larger than it was, and I think there was a bit of letdown on that one. And we did overhype it, but we didn't have this ARG. We didn't have Sean drumming us on this time, like we have this time. If it does turn out to be nothing, apart from a text adventure, yeah, that's going to be a bit of a sting.
Yeah, because this feels like this is leading to something. At least to something conclusive, you know. If this is going to be, and now after ARG is done, waypoint.
Yeah, that would be good. I think I need to come up with some sort of forfeit or something when that happens. Maybe slap myself with a wet kipper or something. I don't know. Yeah.
I think we just take Sean on the street with a bell.
Shame!
Shame.
Kurt earlier had a Sean Murray face on. Yeah, before the stream. That was a bit dodgy. Yeah.
I can do it again.
Wow, look, there he comes. Look. That's a bit too small. There you go. He's got a Sean head. Yeah, look at that. He's got a Sean Murray in the house. Hello there,
You gave us
Sean.
your home address.
Yes, I did, yes. Come round for a cup of tea. Lovely. Yeah, cool. The kettle's on. Anytime.
Wait, is that another one of these ending scenes of the internet historian? I hope not.
I don't bat that way. Not that I've got anything against it, but you know. Cool. Anyway, let's get this back to normal. Right, I say normal. It's when are any of us any normal inside of No Man's Sky? I think you've got to be slightly tapped, like No Man's Sky, haven't you? Anyway, so ARC 3. What do you think is going to be in ARC 3 if you had to make a guess, Beeble?
I think we are actually going to get expanding on the 19. That's where we think we were going.
Minute 19.
There's been 3 references. There's actually one. If you go to the simulation of Nada, where you put Artemis in and you put the echo seeds in, the simulation is called 19.
Okay, cool. What about when we put this new one in?
It's called 19. The simulation is secondary simulation bracket 19.
Okay.
That is so that was already, and it's also purple, by the way.
Sneaky. Okay, cool.
If you read the lore about the Void Mother, she also whispers 19 before she dies, 19th minute.
Okay.
And there's another part of the lore when it says, I want to come back, and also there, 19 is referred.
Okay, so the 19th minute is where the Void Mother kind of makes her presence known.
When you found all the binary code for Void Mother, you had until, then the last number was 17 with question marks.
Right. Yeah.
So I feel like that is, the plan is to have something happen after 16th minute, after the Atlas dies.
I mean, there has been some mentions inside the lore of the 15th minute, all the way down to the 5th minute, with reality becoming merged and travellers being able to see each other. And I think the 4th minute is where boundaries fail, and then the last few minutes is where the whole simulation gets eaten by a giant black hole, which looks just like Kurt's background. He's the Void Mother.
Might be the Void Mother.
Yeah, he's the Void Mother. We found her. Anyway, Kurt, what about you? What do you think is going to happen in ARC 3?
Man, I don't know. You guys are throwing out some great theories. You're making me feel like I don't know anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Either, I don't know, just for your sake, I'd like to see them talk more about the realm of glass. Bring that to be like the focal point. Make your dreams come true and make us be able to go to the realm of glass.
Yeah,
that would be cool.
That would be. I think that might be ARC 4. I think that could be the end point, and then a whole new game mechanic comes in of how we go into. But maybe running Quicksilver missions differently and going into like a raid mode or something. But ARC 3, I'm hoping, like the summer lore of the Ariadne, because it had so much lore in there that a lot of new players, including Switch, including pretty much everybody from 2022 onwards, hasn't seen. I'm hoping that they resurrect all of that summer lore and put it as an expedition for Expedition 3, for ARC 3.
Yeah. This is a bit of a shame that a lot of the lore has disappeared. For example, if you want to learn about the summer lore, you have to dig really deep to find it all back.
Yeah.
There's a lot of paste bins you can go into and find it back, but it's a shame if you're very interested in the lore. Like, why do people tell that Ariadne is an imposter? Why? Because she's been replaced, but nobody really knows how it led to that. It's a shame that.
Yeah. So...
Also, the expedition lore. There's a lot of expedition lore here and there that's lost.
True.
Sadly.
Yeah, I think they'll be doing a redux again this year. kind of makes me think that they've got to get a wiggle on with these next 2 arcs, and with Starfield coming out, I don't know whether that's going to adjust their release schedule, whether they're actually worried about it. I'm thinking maybe August for Arc 3, and then maybe a Halloween end to all of this because it's quite spooky. So maybe October for the end part. But
yeah, what I thought, that was my thinking as well. I think they're gonna avoid September and October as much as possible if they are smart.
Yeah, it makes business sense. Yeah. So,
I think it's a smart thing to drop an update on August. Because everybody is waiting for Starfield, everybody is itching for some games, space games. So, drop an update in August. People are going to play No Man's Sky for that, and then take a break. Take a break until Starfield's hype is over, and then pick up again after that.
Yeah.
If we look at the average number of days between updates, then it should be the 30th of July, or the 5th of August, or the 10th of August, depending on if you. Based on 15 last updates, 10 or 5.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, how long do we have left? Like 3 weeks on the expedition now?
Yeah.
Check quick now.
And the Quicksilver bar hasn't even started moving on the emojis yet. It hasn't moved on. I don't know whether it will until this community event's over, which could throw my normal way of gauging when an update's going to happen out the freaking window. But
we have 19 days left of the expedition.
Yeah.
And see, you're responding to somebody in the live chat over there as well, Kurt, saying that you're a little bit lost at the moment with all this law. Well, you've got access to the game file, so you get to see all of this in code format. I'd imagine you're like Neo reading the freaking Matrix with all the stuff that you get to see.
It's a lot of English.
I suppose so.
It's not binary. It doesn't look that crazy.
Okay, so the other comment about hex code, I mean, they're saying like the 19th minute is free hex code decimals replacement from 16, the 16th minute we're in now. So maybe it might jump from 16 to say 13 next. We might jump to the 13th minute at some point. Who knows if that's the thing. We'd have to see if that's a pattern, eh, Sarah? Okay, we'll see. It's workable theory, as good as any. That's what I love about all this speculation.
There was somebody that because I was talking about that in my video, I was talking about that the Void Mother's plan is to create a new simulation that is allowing them to survive. And somebody on my message on my comment said, "But how would they make another simulation when they are already in the simulation? How can you make a simulation that survives a simulation that breaks down?" The computer of the Atlas is a physical thing in a certain reality. But Telemon spoke to us, actually literally straight to us, talking to us like the player. Hey, you reader. I'm not sure if you noticed that. He's actually talking, he breaks the fourth wall and he talks to you as a player.
On the failed boundary law.
Yeah, he says, you think you are living in the reality. Guess again, this is not reality. So the Atlas could be actually in a simulation as well. So in the simulation, which means that the Void Mother could break through and create a simulation outside of the Atlas or something like that.
Yeah, so if we are looking at computer terms, it's like when you go from Windows 10 to Windows 11 or something like that. It's kind of a whole new interface, it's a whole new GUI and stuff like that. So maybe it could just be a complete system purge and we're going to wake up in No Man's Sky Point 2 or something, Even though they're not going to put out a sequel, they could just overwrite No Man's Sky 1 with No Man's Sky 2, but just in not even in namesake, just in game's sake. Yeah, I think we're going to get a massive overhaul at the end of all this. After the 4-part arc, I think there's a big update dropping, but that's going. How big? I don't know whether it's going to be next big because they haven't employed a second set of people. They're doing this ARG themselves.
There is this thing they have, like, you cannot break a game. How do you say that? Let's say you say, we reset the Atlas and now we have the Void Mother. You cannot do that because then all the story before that is gone for everybody that joins that game. So there has to be a way to have both things existing. So either you exist both of them in 2 games, or there has to be a separate simulation you enter while playing it.
Yeah, like end-game content. I mean, we've been banging on now for a while. There's no end-game content. Or what do you do when you've S-classed everything? Well, now you go in the freaking void, mate. There's a whole new challenge in there. That could be a thing. You could be onto something there, Beeble. They can't just throw away what they had before, because then people can't experience the Atlas path. There you go. Logic and reason right there. Yeah, I was going away with the fairies. He brought me back. It works. This format works. Cool. Like it. Cool, yeah. Well, so that's all four parts of the ARG. And I think we've even touched on ARG conclusion speculation with what it might bring in. So I'm going endgame content, perhaps. And you thinking the same way, Beeble? Endgame content?
I have been thinking this a while, and this seems to be confirming my idea that we might be at the end of at least this year might be the last year we have a big update, and then they focus on their new IP, which might be linked to it. I don't know.
And then just bring out
give
the
this
odd
a year or two, 3, and then then splitting that attention to over No Man's Sky again. Maybe a new update in 2 years that picks up what they learned.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I think from working on their own engine and figuring all these things out, I'm sure they have a huge amount of improvements and things that they find annoying that they can bring into the next game.
Yeah. And they are kind of stuck with No Man's Sky for the moment, no? I know a lot of, and I'm also a proponent of it, but a lot of people are like, we would like to see a reset, and the other one don't want to see a reset, which I understand both sides of it. And I think Hello Games is stuck between a rock and a wall. It's like, well, we cannot really reset, so the bases disappear, discoveries disappear. See what happened with Waypoint. They were really angry when they lost 3 slots. So I think No Man's Sky is what it is. I don't think we will see a reset anymore. I think that will be what it is, No Man's Sky.
So Kurt, we've had quite a lot of experimental updates happening over on the PC stuff. Is there anything inside the game files? Anything that they've altered or changed? Any new icons they've dropped in?
No, I keep looking for the new icons. I really want to replace those question marks that I have in the app for the jetpack trails.
Jetpack trails. I'm wondering whether they're spurious. I think they might just be placeholders for something other than jetpack trails.
Could be.
These emotes that we had, that they were showing for a while with the hand, I don't think these are going to be up for us, no? It feels like these were added to the NPCs now.
Well, they took them out last time they added them in. There's every chance they could do the same again. But,
because I've seen all the NPCs like Polo, Nada, Ariadne, they all have these new emotes coming from their hands now.
Oh, they've had those for since the day they were there.
Because before that they never became purple. They are purple now.
Oh,
When they pick up one of the emotes, they glow purple. The NPCs. That's never happened before.
I hadn't even noticed that now. I'd have to go and have a look. Nice one. Well, good observation there, sir. I have noticed that sometimes when I summon in the Nexus, the bit that moves around it on the outside, it's got a purple hue to it as it's going round. It shines a purple light against the Nexus. There seems to be a bit more purple creeping in. Perhaps they've done this sort of stuff on purpose. I'll have to go and check that out. I haven't noticed them lighting up purple.
I wanted to ask you something. Did you guys both do both heads for the expedition?
Yeah, I got both heads in the end. Yeah, I got both of them. Yeah.
Per head that you choose, the construct will have different sentences. If you have both heads, it will say old sentences. I can send you the file. You will see that there's actually 2 lines. Which one is answer A and the other one is answer B.
Oh, okay, cool.
So it's different depending on your choice. But because I took both helmets, I get all of the sentences when I talk to the construct.
Yeah, please do, because I didn't bother going to speak to that little man spider again. I've deleted my save already. It's gone.
No, I went and talked. I said, this is weird. First it says, I can see her. And then next time it says, I cannot see her. Why is he doing that? Or the construct doing that? Then I went and I checked. I said, hey, this is answer A and this is answer B.
Well, I didn't spot that. I imagine there's countless others that haven't. So yeah, please send us over those little screenshots. I'll probably make a little 3-minute video so I can use it as trailers to some of my content, just so people get schooled on that. Yeah. Nice one, Beebs. Well spotted, Eagle Eye Beebs. But I'd imagine as soon as the codes and the lines are updated, Kurt's going to know about it, and Monkey Man and his crew over on his Discord over there. That's the thing as well, is to point out that Kurt's got a Discord where they do all this sort of code cracking-y type stuff. There's the modders community that's really good at this code cracking type stuff. There's the Atlas, the people that done the ARG last time, they're still running, or got stuff going up on this too. There's a really cool little website, and I always forget who actually made it over on Twitter Space, but he's got everything in one place. Can you remember the guy's name, Kurt?
Yeah, Atlas Codex.
That's him. Yeah,
I'll post the link now.
I like checking that out. That's a really good place to check out. You've got Beeble's Discord. He's got a whole ARG folder. Anyway, how long have we been going on for? We've nearly done an hour just talking about all of this. This is a good little show. So, people watching right now, you're probably wondering when we're next going to do another one of these. It'll probably be during ARC 3 and the Expedition, once people have had a chance to experience the lore, so we don't spoil too much, and it'll be another deep dive into it, but it'll be sometime around ARC 3. Does that sound about fair to you too? Yeah?
I think that's a good idea.
Anyway, peeps, we're rabbiting on about stuff we don't need to rabbit on. Salutamondo. Take care. Cheerio.
See you guys. Bye-bye.
Bye all.
Bye.
Bye-bye.